Time to fill the sky with hair, teeth, and eyeballs. Lock and load, baby. Somebody is going to the meat locker.
This squadron is a laughingstock. You've got to be aggressive. If you put the enemy on the defensive, he's trying to evade you, not shoot you down. You guys have been doing a great job. Keep it up. A few individuals, you know who you are, haven't been pulling their weight. Pick it up, or you'll be flying behind a desk. If you can't cut it as a fighter pilot, do us all a favor and transition to KC-10s. Keep it up and you'll win this war single-handed. If we only had a few more pilots like you. Don't rest on your laurels. Keep working hard, and we'll keep winning. We've been taking too many risks and losing too many aircraft. We've got to start engaging the enemy on our terms, not his. The enemy forces are collapsing, but we've got to keep the pressure on. If we relent at all, they might be able to regroup. We will win only through perseverance. Restless, ceaseless perseverance. The enemy usually looks stronger than he really is, but as long as we have the men and we have the weapons and we know how to beat the enemy, we have nothing to worry about. If you don't have the will to win, you're going to get yourself and your wingman killed. We're losing this damn war, and it's going to take 110% from every one of you to turn things around. At the rate this thing's going, we're going to be walking around enemy tanks to get to the officers' club. When you're in a fight, you not only have to suppress your opponent's useful actions, but you have to allow his useless ones. Our goal is not just to destroy the enemy's weapons, but to destroy his will to fight. Even if we don't have theater-wide air superiority, we can attain local superiority anytime we need it by assembling a numerical concentration of aircraft at decisive spots. We've got to force the battle on the enemy, not let the enemy force the battle on us. We've got to hit them while they're sleeping, hit them while they're trying to eat. Hell, we've got to hit them while they're in the can. Let them know they're not safe no matter where they are or what they're doing. If we try to protect everything, we will effectively protect nothing. First, we've got to win air superiority. When we've done that, then we'll be able to help out the guys on the ground. We can only beat air power with air power. Only a superior air force can neutralize or eliminate an attacking air force. Remember, the ground has a PK of 1. Your number one threat out there is hitting another jet or hitting the ground. If you ever get priority 2 or 3 or 4 confused with number 1, we'll be sending you home in a bag. I want all flight leads to go over the AA-11 Archer missile with their wingman. This missile has exceptional off-bore sight shot capability. Do not give up any angles when fighting MiG-29s and Su-27s which carry these missiles. The AA-10 comes in 3 flavors: IR, semi-active, and active. The enemy will often ripple fire the semi-active and IR versions to increase their PK. Make sure you drop chaff and flares and maneuver to the beam when you suspect an AA-10 is guiding on your cranium. The AA-9 AMOS was designed to take out bombers and other non-maneuvering targets. The obvious method for defeating this missile is to maneuver. I want you guys to study the capabilities of the AA-8 AFID missile. It's the most common short-range missile in the enemy arsenal. While it's not as capable as the Archer, it is all aspect. We've suffered some losses to AA-7 Apex missiles. The Apex is semi-active, so the launching fighter must keep you locked for the entire missile time of flight. Defeat the spike by maneuvering low and in the beam, and you will defeat the missile. The AA-2 is a relic of a missile, but is still found in the enemy's arsenal. The IR version is rear aspect, and is easily defeated by flares. The radar-guided version can be spoofed with chaff. I know we keep harping on the importance of aggressiveness, but you've got to use your heads, people. There's no excuse for getting shot down in a gunfight. If you don't have the advantage, get out of the fight. The SA-13 is an IR SAM launched from an IFV. It uses a search radar and passive radar receivers to detect incoming aircraft. The SA-12 is a monster missile designed to protect high asset value targets against bombers and cruise missiles. I guess we've proven it's capable of taking out fighters as well. I want to go over Barrage AAA because we've suffered some losses recently. If your RWR is lit up, they know your altitude and the gunners can cut their fuses to fire for effect. Otherwise, you just have to pray you don't catch a golden BB and thank God for the big sky. The SA-8 is a highly mobile low-altitude SAM system. Each SA-8 vehicle carries its own radar system. Its biggest limitation is that it's a bottle rocket. It has no range, so you should be able to fly around it or over it. The SA-9 is an IR SAM launched from an IFV. Some vehicles are equipped with a microwave receiver to detect emissions from enemy aircraft. SA-7 and SA-14 man-portable SAMs are carried by all enemy surface units. They can be easily defeated but are difficult to spot. You just have to assume these guys are shooting at you when you're down low. Keep your speed up, and when the hair stands up on the back of your neck, puke out some flares. The SA-6 is a tough low-altitude SAM used to cover the enemy's frontline forces. You can fly under its radar below 300 feet, but that will leave you vulnerable to ground fire. The best defense is never to get shot at. Otherwise, you'll need split-second timing and a bit of luck. The SA-5 is a long-range, high-altitude SAM. You should have ample threat warning and plenty of time to react. Don't ignore RWR indications. The SA-4 is a long-range, medium to high-altitude SAM. It is designed to shoot down bombers, but that doesn't mean they won't take a shot at an F-16. The fire control radar must keep its target locked all the way to impact, so you have the option of defeating the radar or outmaneuvering the missile. The SA-3 is a slightly more capable version of the SA-2. The same techniques will defeat it. The SA-2 is designed to hit high-altitude targets. What it lacks in maneuverability, it makes up for in size. Although an older design, it is still effective at high altitudes where the F-16's own maneuverability is diminished. The Zeus is one of the deadliest AAA systems in the world. Its effective range is about 1.5 miles. We lost an aircraft to a mid-air collision. Control your overtake and use the big sky. I want everyone to be aware of their safe release altitude when dropping bombs. We want to kill the other guys, not ourselves. We shot down one of our own guys today. It's tough enough to go out there and stick it to the enemy day after day without having to worry about your own guys killing you. Make sure you know what you are shooting at before you fire. Find out where the enemy is. Strike them as soon as you can, strike them as hard as you can, and keep moving. The enemy may come individually, or he may come in strength. But however he comes, we must stop him. The important things are always simple. The simple things are always hard. The enemy invariably attacks on 2 occasions, when they're ready and when you're not. I'd be so embarrassed to be shot down by a missile as obsolete as the AA-1 Alkali that I wouldn't even bother to punch out. Enough said. Craniums up, people. We've had a few pilots get gunned down by enemy aircraft, and quite frankly, it's embarrassing. Keep in mind one universal truth about fighting in close. There are no rules in a knife fight, and once you're there, it's kill or be killed. Nothing, and I mean nothing, is worth the life of your wingman. A wingman is essential to your survival. At the very least, he gives the enemy someone else to shoot at. Fights are won by slaughter and maneuver. The better the leader, the more he contributes in maneuver, the less he demands in slaughter. Once you've shot down your first, second, or third opponent, then you begin to find out how the trick is done. The judgment of a split second makes one pilot an ace, while leaving others to think back on what they could have done. The fighter with the biggest weapons engagement zone controls the tempo of the fight. Man of the hour. Great mission. Now you know what it's like to go straight up and go straight down and be somebody. Any soldier knows that during a war it is not always the ponderables that count, but that a great deal depends on luck. Try to secure advantage before attacking. Always carry through an attack once you have started it. The best defensive maneuver is staying out of range. Fly with your head, not your stick. The fighter pilot who is all stick and no head will never live long enough to collect his retirement. You've got to quit just flying around pointing at people, son. Maneuver in 3 dimensions, but keep in mind, you'll meet a better class of people in the vertical. If the enemy is in range, so are you. Performance means initiative. That's the most valuable moral and practical asset in any form of war. A good plan, executed violently today, is better than a perfect plan executed at some indefinite point in the future. You can't win them all. Back to the drawing board. The only easy day was yesterday. Better luck next time. How would you like to be the squadron weapons officer? A good fighter pilot, like a good boxer, should have a knockout punch. You will find one attack you prefer to all others. Work on it till you can do it to perfection, then use it whenever possible. You need to have a long chat with the squadron weapons officer. Good flying never killed an enemy yet. For actions distinguished by extraordinary heroism on the field of battle, you are hereby awarded the Air Force Cross, with all the rights and privileges pertaining thereto. For completing 100 combat missions, you are hereby awarded the Air Force Longevity Service Award. For actions distinguished by meritorious achievement, you are hereby awarded the Air Medal. For extraordinary achievement and heroism while participating in an aerial fight, you are hereby awarded the Distinguished Flying Cross. For victorious service as a member of the United States Armed Forces in Korea, you are hereby awarded the Korean Service Medal. For gallantry in combat against an enemy of the United States, you are hereby awarded the Silver Star. A court-martial has found the accused guilty of dereliction of duty involving the loss of an F-16 aircraft under Article 108 of the UCMJ. A reprimand has been entered into the personnel records of the accused. A court-martial has found the accused guilty of dereliction of duty for ejecting from an undamaged F-16 aircraft under Article 108 of the UCMJ. A reprimand has been entered into the personnel records of the accused. A court of inquiry has found insufficient evidence to charge the accused under Articles 119 and 92 of the UCMJ for the friendly fire deaths of U.S. or Allied service personnel. However, a censure has been entered into the personnel records of the accused. A court-martial has found the accused guilty of dereliction of duty under Article 92 of the Uniform Code of Military Justice. A reprimand has been entered into the personnel records of the accused. The accused has been found guilty of culpable negligence and dereliction of duty in the friendly fire deaths of U.S. or Allied service members under Articles 119 and 92 of the Uniform Code of Military Justice. The accused is sentenced to dismissal from the Air Force, forfeiture of all awards and decorations, reduction in grade, and confinement at hard labor for not less than 10 years. Anything you do can get you killed, even doing nothing. Nothing makes a man more aware of his capabilities and of his limitations than those moments when he must push aside the familiar defenses of ego and vanity and accept reality by staring, with the fear that is normal to a man in combat, into the face of death. The man who is aggressive, who pushes the fight, is the pilot who is successful in combat and has the best opportunity for surviving the battle and coming home. A MiG at your 6 is better than no MiG at all. When over enemy lines, never forget your own line of retreat. The theory of probabilities shows incontestably that one's number is up after a certain amount of sorties. For some it will be sooner, for some later. You closed with the enemy and made him pay, but remember, when it's the real thing, you're dead a long time. Scramble! Scramble! Alert crews to their aircraft! We have enemy inbounds! We have enemy inbounds!
You showed the right stuff in that one. If you don't know who the best fighter pilot is, it ain't you. The guy who wins is the guy who makes the fewer gross mistakes. Hey, at least you didn't finish last. Any angles you give your opponent on the first pass will haunt you for the rest of the fight. maybe you should consider a nice safe activity, like knitting. A pound of hamburger is still a pound of hamburger no matter how neatly it's wrapped, even in an F-16. Woohoo! King up the hill! Good shooting! But next time, think a little more about teamwork. There is no I in team. You've got the weapons, why don't you learn how to use them? Don't you think that was a bit Whiskey Delta? You're supposed to shoot down the guys on the other team. That's the way to throw your pink little body at them. Yes! Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner! That was quite a Charlie Foxtrot. Hey, not everybody's cut out to be a fighter jock. Buffoonery is never a pretty sight when associated with flying. You know, the airlines are hiring. That was a real goat rope. Hey, you might just be getting the hang of this. Not too bad. Woohoo! Nice shooting, Tex. He shoots, he scores! A good fighter jock has got one outstanding trait, aggressiveness, and boy, do you got it! Always a bridesmaid, never a bride. Fight to fly, fly to fight, and fight to win.